السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم وبعد. I'm about to enter into a meeting, but I did want to do our daily tafsir before I went in. I'm going to have a busy day, inshallah. We are doing the tafsir of Surah Luqman, the 31st chapter of the Quran. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept it from us. And we've arrived at verse number 6. The first 5 verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to those who are believers. And He speaks about guidance being found in the Quran, that the Quran is a book that contains wisdom, and then the one who approaches it, wisdom grows within them that they can share with themselves and with others. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses those who gain wisdom from the Quran, that their hearts become merciful, they become more compassionate, and that they are led to even greater guidance. And the more guidance you have, the greater you are in your hidayah. It begins to grow. And this is something that its outcome is greater and greater hidayah. Our verse today is verse number 6. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then juxtaposes, puts contrast to those who have been guided, to those who have chosen the verses of Allah, to those who have chosen the sound of the Quran, the words of the Quran. The opposite of that is those who are being spoke of in this ayah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, and there are from mankind. And this shows that this isn't just something that is for a particular region or a particular people. It is within humanity that this can be something that can cause an imbalance in their lifestyle. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, from amongst mankind, in the different eras and times, from the beginning of man until the end of man. من يشتري لهو الحديث ليضل عن سبيل الله بغير علم ويتخذها هزوا أولئك لهم عذاب مهين. From mankind there are those who will purchase, who will buy, who will expend, who will spend from themselves. And that spending could be in forms of wealth, time, energy, spending good deeds by earning sinful deeds. They purchase the amusement of speech, lahw al-hadith. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu arda, the great companion of the Prophet ﷺ, who the Prophet said, if you're going to learn the Quran, learn it from 4, and he begins with him. He says, Wallahi, 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 by my Lord, by Allah, this verse was revealed, fil ghina, as reference, and this is quoted by Ibn Kathir and all of the Mufassirin. They agree that this is the statement of Ibn Mas'ud, with authenticity, that it's established to him, and it's reported from him by many of the tabi'een, many of the salaf. This was the opinion of Ibrahim al-Nakha'i, Sa'id ibn Jubayr, and many of the imams of tafsir. He says that this verse was revealed to warn about frivolous singing, merriment of song, and the jest of vain messages that is found in insightful music. And music that incites the soul and the senses to rebel against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore it's almost this perfect symmetry. Allah begins by showing us what is right, what is to be recited, the verses of Allah that contain wisdom, but there will be, and they are the ones who are muhsineen, they are the ones who do things and will be rewarded by Allah. Opposite to them, on the other side, in contrast and juxtaposed to them, are those who will actually spend from themselves. They're not going to earn from it. They will expend from themselves and spend from themselves to purchase just moments of amusement from vain discussions, vain talk, vain music that is built on a message of corruption of the soul and the actions. And of course, the ulama, they talk about music in different ways, and there's khilaf from the very beginning of time of what constitutes, what type of ghina is considered sinful. It is in the place for us to discuss that now. But do we as Muslims believe that there is a capacity for a human being to be deluded by certain types of music, certain types of rhythm, certain types of insightful words that incite the soul to rebellion? The answer is yes. And you can hear that. There are national anthems of zina now. You know, it's like the songs that are at times most popular, you know, it's pop music and the R&B and the hip hop and the rock and many of these genres, they will all at one point or another, you will find within them something that alludes to immorality. Sometimes it's about, sexuality and sexually explicit lyrics, sometimes a bit rebellion against society, our parents and authority, ridiculing the system, putting down the rule of law, and so on. So that is something that is condemnable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's the essence of this verse. This is something that's important. Yashtari lahwa al-hadith. Now notice Allah talks about the amusement that comes from speech, and speech has a variety of reasons. It's not all meant to be serious, of course, and there's moments of levity and enjoyment and happiness, and there's nothing wrong with that. At the same time, there is a place where a boundary that, if it's crossed, leads us into something that is sinful. And therefore a person must think of this message. When you hear a message that tells you you only live once, and you gotta do the excesses of life now because you're not gonna get a chance to have fun any other time, sleep with as many people as you can, eat whatever you want, do whatever you can, if it feels good, do it. That message is the opposite of the message of the Quran. You can hear that. يشتري له الحديث بغير علم. Most of those who do it, it's not built on a foundation of knowledge. Had they known the consequence of it and where it could lead them, they would understand that this is something I should pull back from it. له الحديث بغير علم ليضل عن سبيل الله. The main purpose of this kind of vain talk, vain music, vain media and Hollywood and all this kind of stuff, a part of it is to lead from the path of Allah. Whether that's done consciously or not, that's the cumulative effect. And this is something that Allah speaks about in the Quran quite clearly. لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, to lead away from the path of Allah. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. For those types of people who willfully ignore the words of righteousness, the words of Ar-Rahman, and choose the words of the Shaitan, as is in the words of Shaykh al-Islam ibn al-Qayyim, then for them definitely there will be a punishment that awaits them, whether in this life or the next. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be the one who will be in judgment of them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect our hearts and minds from that which is repugnant and repulsive and sexually explicit, and that our heart is free of that. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Imam ibn al-Qayyim, he would say, لا يجتمع كلام الله وكلام الشيطان في قلب رجل واحد. The words of Allah and the words of the Shaitan can never be found in unison in one person's heart. One has to expel the other. And therefore, if you see it difficult for you to connect with the Quran, know that there's an overconsumption of that which is leading you away from it and barring your heart from it. We ask Allah to protect us. And Jazakumullah khair, and I hope you join me again tomorrow bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.